All right, so today we are going to be talking about units of time. And with units of time, we can do some conversions with it also. So units of time. We are going to go from seconds all the way up to a year and the different ways that we can convert them. So let's first start with our chart. So with our chart, we're going to start with the smallest, which is the seconds. So we have 1 minute, and just like with the other ones, I'm going to write the whole word and then I'm going to write the short word. So 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Okay, so we have 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Now we're going to go to an hour. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So it's like small, the next biggest, then we take our minutes and it goes to the hour, which is the next one. I spelled it wrong. Let's put the U there. All right, so then we're at hours, so then we get to go to days. Miss Corbin's having trouble today. Sorry, friends. Let me just erase that so it's not confusing for you. It kind of looks bad. All right. Days. Okay, so days, it's just a D for the short one, is 24 hours. Remember, that's HR. All right, so from days, we get to go to weeks. So in 1 week, and this is WK, that gives us 7 days. And most of this work we know already, so this one should not be as hard. And these are ones that we use all the time. And now we're going to a year. Now the year we're going to do twice. We're going to change it into months, and we're going to change it into, oh, that one, they skipped that one. All right, so 1 year, and we're going to go YR is 12 months. And that's MO. And then 1 year is also the same as 52 weeks. So remember, the equal sign also means the same as. And that's WK. All right, and so we're going to use this conversion chart to help us change from minutes to seconds to days to hours. And so we are going to continue with that same sort of think chart. So let's look at our first one. I want to know how many hours are in 3 days. So we've got 3 days. We want to know how many hours. All right, so then I get my think chart. So I've got my in, my think, my out. Draw my chart. Remember that first line needs to be your helper. So I'm going to put a star there. That's our helper. So I need to find the one that is days to hours. So I go up here, I found days, and it goes to hours. So 1 day is the same as 24 hours. All right, so now I have to think. That is 1 times 24. So now I've got my helper, and this is where people were getting confused on their chart. You've got to write that helper from your helper chart. Now I can use my problem. So my problem is 3 days. So that means I no longer just have 1 day. That means I have 3 days times 24. So that's hard for me to do in my head, so I'm going to do my area model. So I left room for my area model. So I've got a 3 here. 24, when I break it apart, is 20 plus 4. I draw my box. So I do, and then my times is here. 3 times 20 is 60. 3 times 4 is 12. And I add those two together, 60 plus 12, and that gives me 72. So that means there is 72 hours in 3 days. So I'd put 72 right here. All right, so when we get to our multiplication, remember to use your area model or your regular algorithm. All right, so let's do another one. Let's do, okay, I'm sorry, I'm picking out my color. Okay, so I want to do how many seconds are in 5 minutes. So I've got 5 minutes. And I want to know how many seconds are in there. All right, so I've got my think chart. I've got my in. I've got my think. I've got my out. Very first thing is I need to get my helper from my chart. So this is my helper line. I put a star by it. I need to go from minutes to seconds. I find minutes to seconds. That's my first one. 1 minute gives me 60 seconds. So 1 minute gives me 60 seconds. So then my math is 1 minute is 60 seconds. So now I go back to my problem. I have 5 minutes. So I've got to put in 5 minutes. So I no longer have 1 minute, I now have 5 minutes times 60. Now this one we can use our trick of where we can multiply 5 times 6 is 30. And then we add our 1 0. So that means it's 300 seconds. I could do it also if I do my 60 times 5. 5 times 0 is 0, 6 times 5 is 30. I get the same answer, and then if I still wanted to do my area box, I could do 5, and then 60 would be 60 plus 0. So 5 times 60 is 300, and 5 times 0 is 0. 300 plus 0 is still 300. So whichever, you can use your trick, you can use your regular algorithm, or you can use your area model. So 5 minutes is equal to 300 seconds. So when you are using this, what I'm seeing is that my friends are forgetting to write down the helper. You've got to write down the helper, and that's why I started putting a star by it to help you see it. All right, so today you have your Google Doc and you have your Think Central assignment.